Hello, my name is Walter Johnson. Today we're going to be discussing liquid fluoride thorium reactors, or lifters for short. In particular, reactor safety. Why are lifters safer than pressurized water reactors? The first reason this is the case is because of the pressures at which they operate. The lifter operates at or close to atmospheric pressure, while a pressurized water reactor operates at thousands of pounds of pressure. This is inherently more dangerous from an explosion standpoint, and also it makes a pressurized water reactor much more expensive to build. The second reason is fuel inventory. A lifter only has to have enough uranium-233 in it at any one time in order to operate critically, i.e. at steady state, while a pressurized water reactor has to have enough fuel in it to operate critically, i.e. steady state again, but it also has to have an excess amount of fuel in it to operate in the future. From a safety standpoint, this means you have to have control rods in a pressurized water reactor in order to allow you to operate at the beginning of core life when you have all that extra fuel in there. This means that later on, if you have an accident such that the control rod gets ejected or removed quickly, power can increase at very high rates, causing meltdowns and steam explosions. This is bad. In a lifter, you don't have huge control rods, so you can't have a huge power excursion from a control rod ejection, so you can't have steam explosions. Well, you can't have a steam explosion anyway because there is no water. But in any case, you get the idea. Much lower likelihood of any kind of a power excursion from a control rod ejection in a lifter, because you basically don't have much, if any, control rods. The third way lifters are safer than pressurized water reactors is lower fission product inventory. In a lifter, fission products are removed pretty much continuously during the operation of the reactor. Fission product gases can be vented off as the coolant cycles through the system. Fission product solids can be chemically removed as often as you design into the system. This can be done continuously or it can be done periodically, as often as you desire. Pressurized water reactor, quite different. Pressurized water reactor has solid fuel rods, and fission products build up in those fuel rods throughout the operation of that rod. Fissions occur, fission products build up. Nothing you can do about it, no way to get around it. Now what this means in terms of reactor safety is that when you shut down that core and fissions stop, you still have decay heat. That is heat produced from the radioactive decay of all those fission products. This occurred at Fukushima. In Fukushima, the reactors were shut down by the control rods when they had the earthquake. Eventually, the diesels got flooded by the tsunami. The batteries died when they ran out of electricity. Cooling stopped. Decay heat eventually destroyed the reactor. Nothing they could do about it. The lifter, on the other hand, when you shut down that reactor, fissions will stop. You will have a whole lot smaller inventory of fission products in the core to begin with, so you have a lot less decay heat to contend with. If power is gone, the core will drain into a non-critical geometry, and all that heat, or that little amount of heat compared to a pressurized water reactor, can easily be rejected to the environment via ambient heat losses. So no intervention is required to keep it safe. The final reason that lifters are safer than pressurized water reactors is that lifters are designed to be walk-away safe. What that means to you is that if you're the staff of a lifter operating at full power, you could say, well, let's all go to the pub and have a few drinks, or go say hello to the wife and kids, or go on holiday, or whatever, and the reactor would still be irrevocably, inherently, and automatically safe. Now, this is accomplished fairly easily in a lifter. When a lifter loses power, the core automatically drains into another tank where fission is precluded, i.e. fission stops and cannot recur. Now, this could be done a couple of ways. You can either do it by setting the geometry of that tank in such a way that fission cannot occur. This is fairly easy to do from a design standpoint. You could also add some kind of a fission poison, i.e. some element that absorbs neutrons into that mixture that would preclude fission. A couple ways of doing it. I would prefer the first way, simply because that makes the fuel much more easily reused later. In any case, the lifter is shut down, and the small amount of fission products that are in the core at any one time will still be producing decay heat, but that is easily rejected from the tank or emitted from the tank via ambient heat losses. A pressurized water reactor, on the other hand, doesn't have that luxury. When a pressurized water reactor shuts down and when it loses power and loses cooling, you get Fukushima. You ask yourself, which do you prefer? Personally, I'll take the lifter any day and twice on Sunday. There are all kinds of reasons to choose a lifter. Safety is just one of those reasons, and these are the reasons I think that lifters are safer. Thank you for listening.